Have you ever wondered how people get rich off of gaming? I'll tell you one, esports. So I'll be going over many of the intricacies of esports. Like for example, my 3 points are the history of esports, games that are played in esports, and how to get involved into esports. So first off, the history of esports goes. It really only starts in the 70s. In 1972, at Stanford University, there was a Starship game, arcade game played. The prize was literally only 5 people. The prize was a year-long subscription to the Rolling Stones. Not much happens other than that. Most tournaments, if anything, were done in arcades, which weren't really tournaments. That was just people playing. The 80s to the 90s, that's when games got a little more in there, but it was still mainly arcade and local. 90s to 2000s where it really gets big, because straight in the 90s, Nintendo had a big tournament that actually was the first, really only ever publicly televised tournament. A lot of games came out that year. Doom, Quake, very competitive games. Made the FPS genre, the first-person shooter genre. Fighting game that came out, Street Fighter 2, was very big in actual having people face-to-face instead of going by high score for scores. 2000 to 2010, that's when games were getting more online. CSGO came out. That's a very popular game, and still today, even though it's about almost 20 years old, holy cow. Then 2010 to 2020 is when esports became more mainstream and about as big as modern sports. Mainly because of Twitch streaming, it's all over now. It's in the media all over. So some games in esports, for example, League of Legends is definitely the biggest. It's not the most popular, but definitely the biggest esport game that is played. Dota, it's very similar to League. It's 5v5, and you go to the other team to destroy their base. And my third one is StarCraft. StarCraft 2 is really old, but it's an RTS. It's very strategic. It's a strategy game. So how do you get into esports? You get into it by usually starting locally. That's how, if you want to just have fun, you get locally, do more tournaments. But the easiest way people do it now is they live stream. They gather an audience. They get people watching them. They get noticed by bigger people. Then they can get into more tournaments. And yeah, that's pretty much everything of what we went through is just a history of esports, how to get in, and the games that are involved. So